Many people have asked us about how do we put bikes on our teardrops. So many people have to put bikes on top of the teardrop or on top of the car. So we have come up with a solution where we have increased the length of our arm there at the bottom by about 5 feet, and then we have bolted on a bike rack support so that we can remove it if we want, and then the bike are just sitting there in front of the box. There we go.
Ok, première des choses, on va montrer la marque de la table. C'est une JCI Outdoor. Where did you buy it, Chérie?
At the Mountain Co-op, but it's easily available online.
Okay. So it's completely foldable. So you start by folding, going with these little latches there, and you push them down. So you have two on each side, like that. And then this is hooked and the bottom is hooked. And so you do the same thing. You unlatch that on each side, right? And it collapses it inside. This one doesn't have any latch, but you just basically are now ready to fold, right? And this is where, I guess you can go this way, right? You should do it a little bit more gently. But this is the table. Totally sturdy. I don't know how much it weighs. What would you say?
I'd say 10 pounds max.
10 pounds?
7 or 8, yeah.
Yeah, but it's once it's up, it's really sturdy, and but because it folds into such a thin table, we pop it at the back of the car, and it's very handy when there's no picnic table or if you want to cook on the beach like you saw in the other videos, right? All right. Okay, so after the day 7 Little Girls Point, that was right on Lake Superior. That was our last lake, right?
Right.
Then we went on Route 2. We had planned to stop in Duluth, but there was too much traffic.
Yeah.
Showing and construction and everything, so we decided not to do that.
We instead
Qu'est-ce qu'on a fait?
crossed the whole darn state.
But we stopped at just outside of Fargo.
Yep.
For day 8 at the Buffalo State Park, right there.
Yep.
And then the next morning, we continued on to cross over, because Fargo is right on the border of
Minnesota
and North Dakota. So the next day, we literally did almost the whole state of North Dakota. We stopped, which is like straight.
And that's the border
Bismarck,
right
the border is right there. And then we stopped for day 9 at the Theodore Roosevelt National Park, and that's where we saw the buffaloes and prairie dogs, wild horses, etc. Then we went up
to the north part of the park,
which was, we just had a little spin. We didn't stay there, but we took a look around there, right?
Yeah.
Then we continued north
And entered Montana.
And then we continued straight to the other side. So then for day number 10, we stayed at a free boondocking site we found on the iOverlander app. And we stayed at the recreational reservoir, I think it was called Nelson. And that's where we stayed with the cows, right?
Yeah.
It was beautiful, it was very nice. The only downfall was buggy rain. And then we continue on Route 2. We stopped at Havre to buy a few things for my friend Sherry. And then we continued to St. Mary's, which is part of the, well, actually we planned to stay at inside the park, but they were full. One of the campsites was already closed for the season. So we stayed instead just outside of St. Mary's, just outside of the park. And then today, our final day, to get home. We're gonna cross the border.
We're gonna go to Waterton.
We're gonna go to this Waterton that I've been looking forward to visit for a long time. So I hear amazing things about that. So it's part of it's the same Rocky Mountains, but it's across the border, right? It's called Waterton.
And then we'll keep going.
Pincher Creek,
Pincher Creek,
Fernie,
Cranbrook, Kimberley, all the way down to Invermere.
and there will be home.
Home in Invermere, right here.
Right there. Whoops. Sorry for the bad focus. Where am I? Right there. Okay. There we go. There you have it. Ready for the last day?
Yeah.
Just one last little tidbit. So this on the back door of my Subaru, we just push the seat down, and this becomes our suitcases, not suitcases, but clothes, etc., etc. That's where we put everything there. And in the back, we store that folding table that we showed you, the little silver folding table that we often use to put the water or something else. The chairs for easy access. And then we have a toolbox. We have our water. We also have the foldable solar panel. That's pretty much what we've got in the back of the car. Alors nous sommes de retour au Canada. On vient de traverser les lignes. We just crossed the border and we were disappointed a little. We were going to go to the border crossing at a point which was called what? Chief Mountain?
Chief Mountain.
Which is a very small border crossing almost in the national park, the glacier. It gets you from the US side to the Canadian side, but you stay in the mountains. And we were heading towards it. It was 10 miles away. We just like took a turn to the left to go there. And we saw a sign and it said closed. We turned around because we couldn't quite see what it said. We turned around and it said border crossing closed. So we turned around, disappointed, and went to the next place that there was a border crossing. Anyway, we crossed the border, and I asked the border agent if indeed the Chief Mountain crossing was closed, and he says, "Oh no, it's not closed. It's just a sign that says that." Like, really? Oh my goodness. So we are still gonna go to Waterton Lakes, and we just are, because we crossed at a different place. Now we got to go a little bit more northeast to come back southwest. So it might be, it's not that much longer, I think.
About 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes longer. It's just that now the view is of the flats as opposed to being in the mountains. But anyway, I thought that was funny. The sign says it's closed, but it's not closed. Go figure, right? Anyway, we'll show you the mountains when we get there.
oui.
Mm.
On est dans la Crow's Nest Pass now.
Are we starting?
Yeah, we're going west. We're going to leave Alberta to get into BC in a few minutes.
And we have to go through a pass, a mountain pass,
A mountain pass called the Crow's Nest Pass.
which in winter is pretty dangerous, right? Difficult to drive.
No, not so much, but it's a pass. So still have to go up mountains and down.
So go up, and you go down.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, good.
This is the Turtle Mountain, and it's a very famous mountain because a big part of it had a big, what do you call that? A slide, and buried the city or the town that is underneath this, called Frank. And it's like an amazing tragedy that happens during the night in the early 1900s, I think. And there's still lots of rock left, and like Jackson says all the time, the bank with all the money in it is still buried. So now we are back to the Turtle Mountain, and you can see the slide, how much of the mountain fell on the town, and we are actually starting to see the rocks formation that went down all the way from the mountain and went all the way back up the other side.
Over the road.
Over the road, so the road has obviously been rebuilt. So this is again the slide and the slide area and everything that happens around here. Incredible. All the way up to the other side with the old village underneath it. Où sommes-nous maintenant, chérie?
C'est bon.
On est rendu en BC.
Ah, ok.
Et maintenant, on vient juste de passer Furty.
Oui.
Oui. Alors, on s'approche de plus en plus de Cranbrook.
D'accord. Et on est dans les Rockies.
Oh que oui.
Here we are.
Only less than an hour, just a few minutes from home.
Just
30 minutes. So
30 minutes.
40 minutes.
End of our big trip.
Yes.
And we were just chatting and we thought we'd record to share. I was asking Jacques what he thought, what his top 3 piece of gear was in our teardrop setup. And so you said, what was your...
Well, I thought the solar panel that's put on the roof of the cargo on top of the roof here is probably the most effective. It really keeps the battery full while we run, and then we can use the card instead to power the fridge and charge the Jackery and do all kind of other things. And it's been a big surprise. It's been really efficient, and I didn't think it would be like that. I think it would be trouble, but it's not.
That's good, because it's... So you like that, but then it gives all these other options for us as well, and some of them we showed, right? The portable solar panel, and then we have the Jackery, and then we have the if all fails, which we haven't even used once.
One time. Not during that trip.
One time overall from all the other trips, but we didn't use it this time around, which is the small generator. That's like a last backup, but anyway. So that's your number one favorite thing. What's number two?
Well, the number 2 is the Jackery, and I know that many people say, well, you know, you already have a battery, you have solar power, but Jackery is good for everything. It could be the backup for your fridge, it could be the backup for your phone, your heater, even in the teardrop that we never needed, but it's ready to do anything at any time, and it's really easy to carry, it's easy to charge. A big star, a plus star for me.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good one. Ours is a 500 watts. You can buy one for twice as power, 1,000 watt.
Well, there's like 2,000.
Well, there's even 2,000.
Yeah.
But then they would take longer to recharge too. So
Yeah.
you know, but we saw that you could get 1,000 for about $800.
Yeah, about that.
So anyway, we like that one, don't we? And what's your third one?
Well, my third one is still has to do with our teardrop, because the teardrop truly is, you're driving a car and you're just going on a car ride. It's not like pulling anything. It's like you don't feel you're pushed by something. You don't feel you're dragging something. And then whenever you want to stop, you have all your fridge there, all your things. You don't have to, you know, open the trunk and do all, like, it's really, really easy to use. It's really easy to set up.
Yeah.
You go on dirt roads that, you know, you're not sure where they're going to lead, but you know that with such a light teardrop, you can turn around just by unhook the teardrop and manually turn it. And it's very easy to do. As if you have a bigger rig, you're worried when you go in small places. So for me, teardrop again is star of the trip.
Yeah, well, that's good. So that was 1, 2, and 3. So 1 is the solar panel on the cargo box, which is on the roof of the car, the Subaru. 2 is the Jackery, and 3 is just the ease of the lightweight trailer that the teardrop is, right? Yeah, that's cool. So for me, I said one of my favorite thing is the tent that we bought, which hooks onto the teardrop. The brand name is Little Guy, and it's made to go on a Little Guy's teardrop, like the brand Little Guy. But we were able to, when we bought the tent, to add the plastic rubber around the door so that it would be able to hook the neck of that Little Guy tent. And it really is very cool because it adds an extra room, and a room that we can stand up in. So when we're changing, we have a place to go. At night, if it's cold or if there's mosquitoes, we have a place to hide. And it's so easy to put up and to take down. I often do it on my own, or I do it and Jack just comes and helps me a little bit, just because sometimes it's easier when you do it by two. But it is a very simple tent to put up and to take down, and a great addition really to the teardrop. If we didn't have that, we would have to sit in the teardrop, and we literally have to sit to hang out, which is as comfortable really. So that's definitely one of my favorite. Second thing is, don't laugh, Shauk. Don't laugh. But it's our little pee bottle system. So both Jacques and I have one each. He has his pee bottle, I have my pee bottle. For me, I have to use same thing I was using on the Appalachian Trail, the pee style device, which allows me to pee standing up and to pee into the bottle and not outside of the bottle. when it's cold at night, and all you have to do is pop out of the bedroom, the teardrop, and go into the little guy tent, and you have your bottle there, and you can pee. It makes it super convenient. So it's a small item, but it makes our life easier, and we've used it a lot in other circumstances as well, which is good. We went to Walmart the other day, and I was parked really far away. Jacques was inside, and I was like dying, and it was just cars everywhere. I was able to go in the bedroom and just kneeled and used the bottle and the pee style, and I was able to pee in total privacy. Came out, just walked a little further and emptied the bottle, and that's it. So it can really help a lot in sometimes difficult circumstances. If you need to go, you need to go. So that's my number 2. And what did I say my number 3 was? Oh, I think I said, so Jacques said that his number 3 was the ease of the teardrop, how you can easily maneuver it. I say my 3rd would be the galley setup, the kitchen setup. Because if we pull, like at lunchtime today, we just pull in a rest area or anywhere really, you can pull. You just open that door at the back, and your fridge is right there. You can make yourself lunch without having to set up anything. So the galley I really like. We designed it, Jacques built it, and it's very functional, and I'm really happy with that altogether. So so those were the things that we liked the most in our setup. We thought it would be interesting to also mention the items in our setup that we weren't as thrilled with, or that we need to either switch or improve or fix. So the first one for you, Jerry, is what?
Well, I know that we're roughing it lots of times going into the wilderness, but a hot shower is always nice. So we have like one of those.
I just want to show them that. Oh, I don't know if I can see it. Did you get it? Whoa, there's a lake there. Oh well. Sorry, Sherry. Yeah, the shower.
Yeah, there's a shower that we have that you fill with hot water, and you get the lake water on top of it, but it's a pain. It's not really working that great. It's either too hot or too cold, and it doesn't last very long, and it's just like something to get better at. So that would be one for me for sure.
What's the next thing?
Well, the next thing is we almost started on fire during the
Oops.
Yeah, because things are moving quite a bit in the teardrop. So when you get into bumpy roads, and things have a tendency to want to move. And then, unfortunately for us, like a piece of metal moved and basically hit the battery and started to do some sparks. And we could see that it could have turned out to be a dangerous occurrence. So we bought a plastic enclosure for the battery, but it's kind of a temporary solution. Like you need to have a better system to store the battery to make sure that nothing can come in contact with the lead, so that there's no sparks of any kind. So that's going to be something that we need to improve. And the last thing for me is the galley door, although it's a great thing to have, it's really made of wood and it's quite heavy. So it has a tendency to shift quite a bit with the heat, with the pressure that you have to keep it open, with those little with the gas cylinder that keeps it open, and it has a tendency to change shape. So when we want to lock it, you know, then all of a sudden it doesn't lock, it doesn't turn it. So, and it's totally natural. It's wood. It rains. There's different pressure, different thing. So I would eventually look into more of a maybe aluminum door to replace it, because I mean it's open quite a bit, and if you need it to close when you're ready for the road.
This would be a big jump though. That's a huge shift. Isn't it?
Yeah, this would be an made to order type of door that you would have to be, you know, machined somewhere.
The good part with the wood though, which is what the teardrop is made of, is that this big truck is going to pass us.
We should go faster.
No, he can go fast if he wants. The wood, the whole teardrop being made out of wood, it's pretty thick too, right? It's really insulating. Like we were sleeping last night, I think it was close to freezing temperature. We were really toasty.
And we had
to open the window because we were warm. So the wood is really good.
And insulation.
And it's and then they insulated with styrofoam. So anyway, that's the advantage. The disadvantage of the door is the shift for sure. Yeah, Jacques has had to really do a lot of work to ensure that it continually closes after the door is shifted and moved. So that's definitely a nuisance there. Anything else for you?
That's good for now. 3's enough.
3's enough. For me, the first thing is it's the little guy. So it was my favorite piece of gear is that tent, that little guy tent. But what's not working is the neck. The neck is hooking up perfectly, but that portion isn't waterproof. The lining that goes over all of the other panel, there's a lining that goes over the panel of the neck as well, but we can't pull it on top of the little guy, on top of our teardrop, because our teardrop is higher by 1 foot than the little guy's or other typical teardrop. Joanne and Jean Collard, who built it, we just learned from Joanne this week that they purposely made it 1 foot higher because they thought they would, it would be nice to have the extra room, and we agree, it's nice to have the extra room in there, and it doesn't feel claustrophobic. For some people that might have been an issue, so the extra space over our head is definitely nice, but when you pull the sheet lining, exterior lining, which is the rain portion, the rain protection portion of that little guy tent, it goes up. We can't pull it straight to cover and provide protection. It has to go up, and by going up, the water would come down, or comes down if it's raining a lot. And so really we have an issue with the waterproofing when it comes to the neck area. So we need to jimmy rig some kind of solution. And I'm gonna just switch the phone to this because, so what lake is this, Shuri?
It's Lake Columbia.
This is Lake Columbia.
And it's the Columbia River that goes from here to Oregon.
Columbia River that goes from here to Oregon. And are we looking at the Rockies still?
We're looking at the Rockies.
And we're looking at the Rockies still. So just wanted to share it as we were going by there. Anyway, so that's my number one that needs work and improvement. We'll, as I was saying, we'll try to jimmy rig something in the meantime, because, well, the length of the teardrop's not going to change, so we just need to figure out a waterproof aspect there. What was my number two? Number two, number three.
Sure.
We were talking about it before and I forgot. Let me think about it.
Les Zoulous.
Les Zoulous?
Les Zoulous.
C'est quoi là? It's like lime.
Say sand and stone.
Sand.
Carved by rain and wind.
Very steep. Oh yeah, I just remembered. My other thing is the chairs. The chairs, I mentioned it in an earlier video, but the chairs we've got are really great chairs, very solid, right? Great construction, but they're just, we both find that they're too big. They take too much room in the little guy's head. And also the seat kind of caves in and the back just pushes back too much, so they're just too big. The brand name I think is Kelty
Yeah,
chairs.
they were very expensive.
They were like
and they're
$85.
Nice. No, $100.
$100. So I mean, they're really nice chairs, but I don't think they're gonna work for us. We're gonna be looking for different chairs. So if anybody listening has great ideas on chairs and loves theirs, we like that they fold into a roll, like a more of a tubular package. We don't want something that's flat, because sometimes we put them on the roof, in the box, and sometimes we handily leave them on the back of the Subaru there. And in a tubular kind of collapsible fold, it's very handy. So we'll be looking for something similar, but that doesn't have such a deep seat, and it's just a little smaller, really. So that would be my number two. I don't think I have a number three. I think everything else is really good. We have a great bed. We sleep good. I love the setup of the interior too. I don't know if we showed that, but everything is really works out good, doesn't it? So anyway, we're stopped because there's some construction, but we are very close to the end of our trip. We'll be unloading next.